Hey Ranger fans, welcome for another installment of Talkin Rangers Baseball. I'm Hondo. We're going to be joined on the phone in just a second by Boppy from Modesto, California. And just a reminder that we're brought to you by sportswagers-elections.com and EddieTheHatWins.com. And they bring you a ton of winners, and their latest was correctly tabbing the National League to beat the American League in Tuesday night's All-Star game, and for the game to go under that scored the game produced less than 8.5 runs. So I hope you were aboard for that winner. And now let's say hello again to Boppy from Modesto. Boppy, how are you doing?
Hey, the old coach is doing fine. It's great to talk to you again.
Great.
And it's Go Rangers.
Great to talk to you again, and we're going to kick off the second half of the season tomorrow night with the Rangers start I don't think you can say it's a crucial series this early in the year, but it certainly is an important 7-game road trip for the Rangers. 4 in Seattle, 3 in Anaheim. The Rangers start the second half with a 1-game lead over the Angels, 7.5-game advantage over the Mariners, and a 12-game lead over the Oakland A's, who you can pretty much bury. And I think Seattle's going to come into this series. They're going to be tough because they're going to know that this is a more important series for the Mariners than it is for the Rangers, Boppy, because Seattle, I think, probably knows they need to take 3 out of 4 to get back into the race. So the Rangers, I think, are going to have their hands full this weekend, especially when you consider they're going to have to go against Michael Pineda and Felix Hernandez, and also going against Doug Fister and Vargas is no easy chore either.
The pitching is always where it is. Obviously, the Ranger lineup is much stronger than Seattle, but they've got to get the pitching, and we're going to find out real quick whether they're going to get enough. I mean, I think that this 7-game stretch will probably be it'll be the catalyst in deciding, do the Rangers go ahead and pull the trigger on a big deal, or do they stand pat, or do they just tweak it a little bit? I think if they were to lose, say, 5 of these next 7 games, I think that they would end up going trying to find a big starter, a big pitcher to come in and do what Cliff Lee did last year.
Well, yeah, but there, you and I both know that that right now, basically what you have are a bunch of number 4 starters available. There aren't any Cliff Lees out there this year to be had, and
the hope that you have is that either Feldman comes back or that Derek Holland matures. If either of those things were to happen, Feldman comes back to his form of a couple of years ago. But that's what we need. That's what they need. That's what they really need.
Well, I don't think we're going to see any major contribution from Feldman the rest of the year, other than out of the bullpen. We both know that Feldman's cutter was nowhere near as good last year as it was in 2009 when he won 17 games, and today they placed him on waivers. So they're going to bring him up.
They're going to try to activate him by Thursday.
They're going to bring him up. He will be activated. He'll be in the bullpen tomorrow night, but he is on waivers. So if some team claims him, then that starts a whole different wheel in motion as far as what's going to happen. But the fact that Scott Feldman is due at the very minimum $13 million on that contract he signed, there's no team out there that's going to claim Scott Feldman and be and have to pay him $13 million. So he's going to go unclaimed, and he'll be in the bullpen tomorrow night, and we'll see what happens. Probably the Japanese right-hander who they've been using out of the bullpen is going to go down to Round Rock, and you'll see Feldman tomorrow night, and hopefully he'll be as effective as Tommy Hunter has been out of the bullpen so far. If that's the case, then if he can come in and air it out for an inning or two like Hunter's been doing, then he'll be a help. But I agree with you that this next 7-game stretch, if they struggle in the bullpen or if they struggle in the rotation, which I don't think is going to happen, I'm more concerned about the bullpen than I am the rotation. And I also am a little bit concerned with the offense on the road. They don't hit nearly as well as they do on the road as they do at home. And David Murphy, we both know, has been struggling. And Carlos Beltran out there, that bat looks mighty, mighty enticing to play in left field for the rest of the season and have David Murphy as your fourth outfielder.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. The question is can they get that bat without giving up the nominal leg?
Well, with Beltran being owed, I think at the deadline with 2 months left, he'll be owed $5 or $6 million. He is. You can't offer him arbitration. That was written in his contract. So any team that is stuck with him at the end of the year, whether it's a team that trades for him or if it's the Mets, they're not going to get any draft choice compensation for Carlos Beltran. So that's a selling point that is not in the Mets' favor. And it all depends on how much of that salary the Mets are willing to absorb. If the Mets told a team, hey, we'll eat the rest of that $5 million on his contract, then they should be able to get a top-notch prospect or two. But if they want the other team to absorb most of that $5 million, they're not going to get much. So it'll be interesting. The ball's in the Mets' court, in other words, I think, in that situation. And a team that I really don't want to see get him would be the Angels, because I think Beltran would help the Angels a great deal.
I think there's a number of teams. You mentioned the Giants before. I think there's a number of teams where he would be an incredible fit. I think the Rangers would almost have a lineup worthy of the '90s teams if they had Carlos Beltran in left field.
Yeah, that's
we'll have to wait and see. The place where I would like to see them get a little bit stronger, or what you would call, I'd like to see first base a little more productive. It may be that Mitch Moreland's the guy, but it's a corner infielder, and you want a thumper there. And I just keep waiting for Moreland to do a little bit more than he's doing.
Well, I'm happy with Moreland. I'm happy with the way he's improved his defense. When he first came up last year, his defense was not even close to what Chris Davis's defense was. He's not as good as Davis now, but he has markedly improved his defense, and he's on course to hit 20 to 25 homers for a young hitter it's his first full year in the major league. So I'm not at all unhappy with Moreland. I am unhappy with the job that David Murphy's doing. I don't think David Murphy has helped the team much at all since the first week of the season when he had that big opening weekend against the Red Sox. I think Torrealba, even though right now he's on a hot streak, he's been very, very streaky. I think he's hit.
But let me say something about Torrealba. This guy is. I don't care about his offense that much because the Rangers have enough without him. What Torrealba does, and he's done it for when he was with the Rockies. He's done it now for the here with the Rangers. He is a great handler of pitchers, and he is terrific defensively.
And you know I
love Torrealba.
You know who surprisingly else has been a great handler of pitchers, and the Ranger pitchers have the best DRA when he's behind the plate is Mike Napoli.
Napoli has surprised me because I think he had a reputation coming to Texas as being something of a defensive liability, and he's been anything but, both with his arm and with his pitch calling.
Right. The only thing that worries me with Napoli is being overexposed to right-handers. Historically, he has not been nearly as effective against right-handed pitching as he's been against left-handers. The Rangers mostly got him for the offseason in the trade with Toronto because of his bat against left-handers, and I just hope they don't have to overexpose him the second half against right-handed pitching. How do you look at the Ranger rotation down the stretch?
To me, the key person, the two keys, is Alexei Ogando, the guy who pitched. Is he the guy that we saw in April, May, and June, or is he the guy that struggled, in the latter part of June and in July? I don't know. That's the key, because Ogando at his best, we have a great 1-2 punch, and CJ and Alex. They're a great tandem. The other one is Derek Hall. One game he throws a shutout. The next game he gives up 5 runs in 2 innings. Will the real Derek Holland please stand up? That's the two keys as far as the rotation goes.
Well,
everything else is pretty solid.
I think Alexei Ogando is going to be fine. He had that 1 3-start stretch where he struggled, but I think if you go around the league, and you'll find some pretty elite pitchers this year who have struggled in 3 of their starts.
It's not the struggles, Art, that I'm worried about. It's not even his ability. It's the fact that in his career he hasn't pitched a lot of innings, and that's just a question of arm strength. If his arm strength is there, then fine. He's going to be great. He'll even be great next year, even if his arm strength isn't good, because I think the stuff is there. It's just a question of whether he has the endurance. So to me, it's Alexei Ogando's endurance and Derek Collin, Jekyll and Hyde,
Right, and the one thing that kind of irritates me still that I read out of the Dallas area press is the picking on Derek Holland. What they need to realize is this. 4 years ago, Derek Holland was pitching junior college baseball. Scouts will tell you they like to see a guy pitch 700 or 800 innings in the minor leagues before he's brought up. Derek Holland had about 200 innings in the minor leagues. He's never had a full season in the starting rotation, and yet he struggles every once in a while. Here's a kid still learning, and they're picking on him, saying, why can't you be more consistent? Give Derek Holland a chance to be more consistent.
I think that if Derek Holland, one of the things, when he pounds the strike zone, he's better. In fact, it's really funny because I think a number of times he's been prone to the home run ball, but the home runs alone wouldn't have hurt him if he hadn't given up 2 walks in front of it.
Right.
So I'm not going to worry about the home run balls that he gets given up if he would just walk fewer batters.
Right, and you're going to see continued progress because he's too talented. There are not a lot of left-handers in the game that have the stuff that Derek Holland has. So I like the continued improvement. I don't think there's a person out there that's going to say Derek Holland is not better this year than he was last year. And to me, that's a marked improvement. That's what you want to see. And as long as you continue to see the improvement, that's all. I think all you can ask from the kid. Matt Harrison is a little bit more advanced than Derek, and you still see a little growing pains in Matt. But Matt seems to be putting it together. ERA of about 3.03, which for the American League is excellent. And I'm happy with his work. I'm pretty confident about like I said earlier, the starting rotation. I think it's going to come through. What I would like to see is some consistent work in the 7th and 8th innings, which we've seen more lately. Mark Lowe seems to be coming into his own now and pitching the way Texas thought he could be. Tommy Hunter seems to have taken hold of that 7th, 8th inning, and I want to see Felice be a little more locked down the way he was last year. He's struggled a little bit more this year than he did last year, but that's what concerns me the most, Boppy, is the bullpen.
Yeah, well, I'm going to say one more thing about the starters, and that is the remarkable job collectively that they've done. I mean, can you find another rotation in the American League where they have all 5 of their starters have more than 100 innings right now? They've stayed healthy, they've stayed strong, and they've given one quality start after another. In fact, it's except for Holland, I think you can count the starts that weren't quality starts for each pitcher on a few fingers of one hand.
Right.
So it's been a pretty good year for starters.
Right. How many wins are they going to have, Boppy? How many wins, and where are they going to finish?
I think this year, to finish in first place, they're going to need around 94 wins. I don't know. It's a tougher division, and Anaheim is breathing down their neck. But I also think that with the team they have and the experience they have of getting to the World Series, when they know what it takes, I think that's possible. It just you've got to start all the everything has to click together, and
right.
It's time for everything to start working like a well-oiled machine.
Right.
Because we've got the right manager, we've got the right pitchers, we've got an incredible clutch-hitting team behind that pitching staff. Now they just need to make sure they do it.
Right.
I'm a little worried that once in a while it seems to be that they're lax in the field. It's like,
right.
Not that they're not good
right.
defenders. It's just like sometimes they will play and they make a mistake.
Right. Well, it'll all come together starting tomorrow night, and we'll talk to you later. Thanks, Poppy. Talk to you later, fans.